Let's talk about these earnings because there's some good news in here, but there's also a little bit of mixed news in here. And I kind of want to understand, in certain cases, you seem to do better. I think that even you were expecting just a couple months ago. But also, what's that going to look like for the rest of the year?
Absolutely. And Andrew, I want to get to a point that's really interesting compared to kind of what Chairman Powell was saying yesterday, too. Here it is. Certainly during the second quarter is our big COVID, and we were trying to figure out what the effect would be. Well, in fact, we saw like a 10% reduction in sales at its highest level, which we kind of predicted. But the revenue impacts were not as severe. We immediately, actually early on, went into some pretty strong cost management practices. And so the bottom line was really pretty positive compared to our expectation, the street, everybody else. I mean, I think it served very well. But here's what's interesting. During the first phase of the COVID impact and the shutdown, we certainly had a very different response by the public than what we're seeing right now. We think in the Southeast we're in a second wave of COVID, but the customer response is much less dramatic. Where we had seen reductions nearly 10%, lately we've been seeing reductions in 1% to 2%, in recent weeks almost flat compared to normal. And so you get this very interesting kind of question. Is the public and the consumption in the economy adapting to living with the coronavirus as opposed to shutting down? And as Chairman Powell says, with all the uncertainty going forward, what does that mean for the rest of the year? It's a fascinating question.
Well, what do you think the answer is? And also just speak to this. I know at one point with Georgia Power cutting 2,000 workers, there was an issue of absenteeism. Is that an issue that you're seeing right now?
That was all at our nuclear plant that we're building, the first nuclear plant in a generation of Americans. And really, it was a direct response to COVID. We had about 9,000 people on the site. And in order to do appropriate social distancing, we wanted to reduce the density of personnel on the site. So we reduced down from about, 9,000 to about 7,000. Also, as the first wave hit, we saw a lot of absenteeism. Now, during the second wave, we're seeing much less of that kind of behavior of people on the site. People are learning to live with the COVID virus. We're doing the appropriate, COVID protocols just like everybody else is. And so life goes on.